Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Lauren, this is Ziggy, my other pup Zoe's behind, and today is episode 4 of the core conditioning series. For today's class, we're going to be focusing on back body core. So first thinking in terms of expansion while breathing, so a balanced core while breathing, and engaging the back of the core through contracting to extend the spine, or you may have heard it in terms of back bends or heart openers. All you'll need for class is yourself, some comfy clothes, an open space in your mat. And if you haven't already, I highly recommend going back and watching the first 3 of the core conditioning series so that when you get to this class, everything is leading up to this and it makes sense and you feel balanced and connected and more empowered in your core to be able to move from your core. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe and like button so that you can stay up to date on new content, new videos, and let's get started. Since our emphasis is the back of the body or the back of the core, we're going to start in this prone position. Rest your forehead to your hands like you're playing heads up, 7 up, and then relax your shoulders and your body weight down. Bring your attention to your breath. And I want you to notice where you feel it in your body, where you feel that movement. Take a deep inhalation through your nose. And exhale back out through your nose. You may notice as you inhale, expansion in your back. And as you exhale, deflation of your back. Continue breathing just like this. At the end of the day, if you feel like your back is sore, achy, or tired, this is one of my favorite ways to get some blood flow and some breath flow into the lower back region. Take 3 more cycles of breath. And from here, we're going to create a little bit of extension through the upper part of the spine. So engage through the glutes. If it helps to create more length in the low back, tilt the front of your pelvis towards your face. Think the front part of your hips. And then you're going to lift your head up towards the sky, maybe even looking up to the sky. So you may notice I'm mainly just lifting my upper part of the body and my head. My arms are still relaxed. I'm not using my arms to push up quite yet. And then lower back down and do that 3 more times. A lot of the work and the classes that I teach on my channel are very somatic in nature. So you have an opportunity to slow down, to sense your body from the inside out, and to move from a embodied place. I think just 1 more. If you end up doing an extra, that's okay too. And then lower all the way back down. So now we're going to start to use your arms a bit. Again, if your back is starting to feel achy or tired, think about engaging the glutes, tilting the front of the pelvis towards your face. That's just going to help create more length in the low back. Lift your chest up. Create a diamond shape in the arms so you can slide your elbows a little bit more forward. And you can even create kind of like a diamond shape in the hands. So your index fingers and your thumbs are together. Press into the forearms, lift your chest, kind of like a Sphinx or a cobra, kind of like a bridge between the two. And notice how your arms right now are giving you leverage to lift up. But can you keep that height of your chest and lift your arms off the ground? Now, if you collapse back down, that's a sign that your back extensors may be a little weak or maybe tired or need to build up a little bit more strength. And then see if maybe you can hover those arms. Take them out wide. Maybe that helps to lift you up a bit higher because you're engaging more your lat muscles, your pulling muscles. Take the arms forward and relax back down. Let's do that 3 more times. So again, lift your chest. Use your arms to help you engage through the lower abdomen. Think like you're tilting the front of the pelvis up, drawing the rib cage up. Hover the hands. Try to keep that height. Take the arms out wide. Take the arms forward, and then exhale, release back down. Good. Do that twice more. You can even press a little bit into the tops of the feet. If you find it's kind of natural for the feet to lift, that's okay too. Again, there's no right or wrong necessarily here of like form and having to micromanage every part of the body. Our body just kind of moves very instinctually. So allow your body to do its job. But if anything feels out of place, not right, you're encountering pain, maybe you pause, readjust, or you can stop completely and then meet in this next exercise here. So relax all the way down. You can bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs just to add a little bit of rotation through the lower half of the body. Okay, so speaking of rotation, now we're going to invite some rotation as we extend the spine. So turn your head towards the right. As you do so, you're going to place the right hand underneath your left cheekbone and take your left arm by your side. So think fingertips towards your toes. This is a somatic exercise. So again, sensing the body from the inside out, but teaching points of engagement that are specific to the back body core. So we're going to break down basically what I like to call a somatic version of a cobra or twisted cobra. So you're going to lift your right elbow up, and you may notice as you lift the elbow, there's a little bit of engagement in the back of the shoulder. That's what's helping to lift the arm. And then lower it back down and just do that twice more. Good. And then relax that arm down. Now we're going to involve a little bit more of those spinal extensors here. Lift your head up and look over the right shoulder like you're pulling out of a parking spot. Now, depending on the model of your car and the year of your car, maybe you still are having to look over your shoulder to pull out of that parking spot. But nowadays, a lot of cars have those backup cameras. So maybe you don't get as much of this engagement and movement in your daily life. Lower back down and do that 2 more times. Engaging the lower back on that left-hand side, kind of connecting opposite or right shoulder to the opposite part of the hip and low back. Once you do 3 there, you're going to connect those or do those first 2 steps. So lifting your head and your arm together. Notice how my hand is still connected to my cheekbone. And you may feel the engagement now in the left back of the hip, so the glutes. Lower back down. You can even take your left thumb to your left glute area and feeling from your right shoulder to your left hip. And again, building those points of connection and engagement. Nice. So relax all the way down. And your lower or upper body will stay relaxed. Now we're going to involve the lower half of the body. So lift your left leg up. Notice how my left leg is straight or lengthened. My toes are pointed back. And then relax back down. Do that twice more. And you may notice there's a connection from your left leg to your right shoulder. You may even feel that right shoulder wanting to lift up. So kind of creating a counterbalance and counter engagement. Once you do 3 of those, we're going to take all 3 of those steps and put it together. So lifting your head, your arm, and your left leg, and then relax back down. Do that 2 more times. This will help with kind of warming up those back extensors and rotators, especially if you practice yoga asana frequently, doing poses like revolved triangle or revolved half moon, any kind of revolved pose that involves an extension or arch of your back. Relax all the way down, rest your forehead to your hands, bend your knees, and windshield wiper the legs side to side. From here, I'm just going to flip around so I can still see you. You can still see me. You can stay where you are if you like, though. This time, you're going to lie still on your belly, but turn your head to your left. If you did the other side first, just make sure you switch and do both sides. Your right arm now by your side. Okay, so breaking this down here as well, lift your left elbow 3 times, feeling the back of the left shoulder engaging. Once you complete that, you're going to lift just your head up and peek over your left shoulder like you're pulling out of a parking spot. You may feel the lower back on that right side engaging. Do that 2 more times. And then combining those 2 steps, lifting your head and your arm together. My hand is connected to my right cheekbone. You may have felt that all the way to your glutes on the right-hand side. And then relax the upper body. Lift your right leg up 3 times. Keep your right leg lengthened. You can point those toes back just to create a little bit more length and engagement all the way through the leg. You may have felt that to your left shoulder. Now all 3 together at once. So lift your head, your arm, and your right leg, opposite shoulder to opposite hip. Relax down and do that 2 more times. And what's in between? The core, the trunk. That is what is working together, kind of building those 2 opposing areas and finding engagement and balance in the middle. Good. Once you're done, relax all the way down, resting your forehead to your hands. And again, you can bend your knees and windshield wiper the legs side to side. Okay, so we're now going to put all of that together. We first started with just straight extension of the spine, and then we involved rotation and extension. Now we're going to do extension, rotation, and a little bit of lateral movement, so going side to side, which is why I said to have some space on the sides of the mat. Reach your arms forward like you're shaking someone's hand. Reach your legs back. From here, imagine like you're trying to tilt the front of the pelvis up. Draw the front of the ribs up so you engage not just the back of the core, but lifting the front of the core. And then you can lift your arms and legs. If this feels like it's too much, relax your arms and legs down. And for right now, just lift your right arm and your left leg, okay? If you get all of your limbs off the ground, can you lift your right arm a little bit higher and your left leg a little higher? Then from here, with that right arm, you're going to reach to your left. Now, I want you to try to do this without touching your hands to the ground. You're going to engage the side of the body and roll to your back. Arms lifted, legs lifted. If this feels like your back is wanting to pull up and you're using too much of those back extensors, think about balance. You can bring the legs higher, drawing the ribs down, lifting your head off the floor. You can even bend your knees. From here, you're going to reach that right arm back to your mat, engaging the front, the sides, and the back of the body. Notice my arms and legs are still lifted. Let's go the other way. Lift your left arm, lift your right leg a little bit higher than the other sides. You're going to roll, reach, and end up on your back. Arms lifted, legs lifted. Again, you can lift up a little higher with those arms and legs. You can even bend the knees. You're going to reach your left arm now to your belly. Roll, 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 and then relax all the way down. Nice. Go ahead and bend the knees and windshield wiper the legs side to side. All right, we're going to do that 2 more times each side. You can always pause the video, take breaks as you need. This is very challenging, I acknowledge. So think about breaking it down in steps. Reaching, lifting, rolling, and then rolling back, okay? If you find that you're not able to roll without putting your hands on the ground, maybe you start with using a little bit of leverage, but then you progress to trying to take away that leverage. So you can always come back, redo this class, or do the first couple videos and then come back to this one. So let's give it a go. Lift your arms, lift your legs, low belly's lifted, engaging and nice and long through the low back. You're going to reach your right arm and left leg, roll, and end up on your back. Ribs down, belly button down, roll back to your belly. Arms and legs lifted. Lift your left arm, right leg, reach, roll. Left arm reaches back to your mat, roll. Let's do that one more time. Right arm reaches, you roll. Reach your right arm back to your mat, you roll. Left arm reaches back, you roll on your back, and you reach your left arm. Whew. Back to your mat, you roll to your belly, rest your forehead to your hands, bend your knees, and windshield wiper the legs. Nice. Go ahead and press yourself up onto your hands and knees. Bring your knees together if possible. If that feels like it's too much on the knees or on the ankles, you can opt to take child's pose with the knees wide. And if you're going in that direction, I want you to think about still trying to sit your hips to your heels and round your spine or flex your spine. I personally, if I'm taking this option, like to take my arms by your side, but you can also reach the arms forward. But notice I'm kind of like in a ball here. My hips, I'm working towards my heels, My back, my low back, I'm trying to round it. And then bring your attention to your breathing, just like at the beginning. You may notice, though, in this position, you're creating more expansion in the back, more pressure moving to the back of the body. Deep breaths in, deep breaths out. And just like at the very beginning of the practice, this is a great place or position to find yourself in, especially if your low back is feeling achy or sore after a long day of work, or just being on your feet, to get some blood flow and movement in your back. Take 2 more cycles of breath here. And then slowly roll up. Come into a comfortable seated position, whatever that looks like in your body. I hope from today's class that you can walk away feeling empowered, connected, and more balanced in the core, to be able to understand it and to move from the core with all of those things in mind. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date on new content, new videos that I'm going to be releasing. And feel free to share in the comments what you found challenging from today's class, or maybe some aha moments. And also share if you have any other class ideas or things that you're looking forward to in the future, so that I kind of have an idea of what you would like to see more of from me and my content. I hope you enjoyed today's class, and I'll see you next time.